I want to share with you from 1 Corinthians chapter 29, and I'm going to add 2 verses to what I gave Doug and Debbie. We're going to start with verse 9 and end with verse 17. But anyway, the background for this was David wanted to build the temple. God said no, it's going to be your son Solomon. They had received an offering to build the temple, and they received more than what they needed for the task. That's the setting for our passage today. So in verse 9, then the people rejoiced because they had given willingly, for with a whole heart they had offered freely to the Lord. David the king also rejoiced greatly. Therefore David blessed the Lord in the presence of all the assembly. And David said, "Blessed are you, O Lord, the God of Israel our Father, forever and ever. Yours, O Lord, is the greatness and the power and the glory and the victory and the majesty, for all that is in the heavens and in the earth is yours. Yours is the kingdom, O Lord, and you are exalted as head above all. Both riches and honor come from you, and you rule over all. In your hand are power and might, and in your hand it is to make great and to give strength to all. And now we thank you, our God, and praise your glorious name. But who am I, and what is my people, that we should be able thus to offer willingly? For all things come from you, and of your own have we given you. For we are strangers before you and sojourners, as all our fathers were. Our days on the earth are like a shadow, and there's no abiding. O Lord our God, all this abundance that we have provided for building you a house for your holy name comes from your hand and is all your own. I know, my God, that you test the heart and have pleasure in uprightness. In the uprightness of my heart, I have freely offered all these things, and now I have seen your people who are present here offering freely and joyously to you. We're looking at the ABCs of stewardship. Last week was the letter A for attitude. Today is B for blessing. Bob McEwen, now this has been several years ago, a couple decades ago, he was a representative, a congressional representative for Southeast Ohio. And while he was a representative, he told this story about his brother and nephew when they took a trip to McDonald's. Now, the little boy was about 3 or 4 years old, and they go to McDonald's, and they're sitting there together eating, and Dad reaches for a couple of French fries, and the son grabs them and pulls them back and says, "No, these are mine." And his dad thought, my son has no idea I'm the source of those French fries. He doesn't realize I have the power to reach over and just take all of them from him. He also doesn't realize that I can go back, give them $100 and say, "Bury my son in French fries." Or he doesn't realize that I don't really need his fries. I can go buy my own. I didn't want his fries. I just wanted his willingness to share them with me. In a sense, God has taken us to McDonald's. He has blessed us with so many things. He has enriched us. He has abundantly provided for us. And being the loving Father that he is, he wants to fellowship with us. He wants to interact with us, not on a shallow, "Hi, how you doing" level, but he wants to interact with us on a deep and meaningful level. And so he reaches toward a few of those blessings, and we tend to yank them back and say, no, this is mine. And I think, like Bob McEwen's brother, I can imagine God saying, don't they realize I'm the source of those blessings? Don't they realize or understand I could take them all away if I wanted to? Have they forgotten that I could overwhelm them and bury them in blessings? Don't they realize if I really wanted something, I could just create it? Giving money in an offering plate isn't God's way of raising money. It's the Father's way of raising children, to teach us responsibility, to bring us to maturity, and to deliver us from selfishness. God doesn't want us to give because he's hurting or is needy. It's because he himself has modeled giving, and he wants to develop that trait into the character of his children. Probably the very first verse that you and I memorized was John 3:16. For God so loved, he gave. When you look throughout the Bible, you see that God is always giving, and he is very much interested in our response to that. So there are three thoughts that I'd like to share with you concerning our giving God this morning. The first of these is God's power, his ability to give. Look at verse 12. Those words, riches, honor, power, might, are in God's hands. They come from him. Look at verses 14 and 16. Everything comes from his hand. And what we give back to him is already his. He's the source of it all. Everything that you and I have is a blessing that has come from him. And when we give to him, we give back to him what's already his. It's kind of, the way he is with us, it's kind of like how we are with our children when they're really small. At Christmas time, we give them money so they can buy us a present, right? God, think of this. God requires nothing of us that he has not already given us. Provisionally, you and I this morning have everything that we need today to fulfill God's plan for our lives today. Yes, I know we have received a certain amount of education. We have acquired skills. We have made good decisions. We've been responsible. We have worked hard. But from where did all of these things come? Your capacity for work. From where does that originate? And when you really get right down to the nitty-gritty of it, when it comes to the function and activity of the organs that give life, the lungs, the heart, the brain, we have no control over that. Deuteronomy 8:18 says, for it is God who gives you power to get wealth. When you stop to consider who God is, how he has blessed us, how he has enriched us, it is amazing to me that we will still act like that child in McDonald's and say, no, God, this is mine. When we plug our ears so that we cannot hear the lies of the devil, we're able to see God for who he truly is. He is an all-powerful, all-gracious Father who loves us unconditionally, who has our best interests at heart, and has given and who has the power to give us everything that we need for today. And as for tomorrow, don't worry about it, because he's already there. Second, it's God's provisions, his willingness to give. That means that anything that he asks of you right now, he has already given you the resources for that. I mean, Would you ask your teenage son or daughter to go to the store and buy groceries for the family and not give them the money to pay for that? Of course not. Think with me, would God ask you to go through a trial without giving you the grace and the strength and the faith and the discernment to endure, not only endure that trial, but also come out from it on the other side victoriously? If God is calling you to serve you in some capacity, He will also give you the giftedness and abilities to serve you in that role, to serve Him in that role. And if God is bringing you to a door of opportunity, He will give you the ability to open that door, cross the threshold, and take hold of that opportunity. We have a problem that hamstrings us. We want resources that we don't need. I shared with you before, when I was going through that dark period of my life with Cheryl's illness and death, I shared with you before how during all of that, God gave me a special power and presence in my life. I never had that before, and I've not had it since. And the reason is because I never needed it before, and I haven't needed it since. God gives us today what we need for today. And it's a matter of trusting Him. Too often we are like the Israelites when God first introduced manna, and He said, each day you just go out and you get what you need for that day, except the day before the Sabbath. Then you get 2 days. And what did they do? They went out and they grabbed up everything they could and they hoarded it. And when they got up the next morning, it was all spoiled and rotten. And in the midst of that spoilage and disobedience and unbelief, God still provided that which was fresh and new for that second day. And He did that for every single day until they entered the promised land. He gives you today what you need for today. What you need for tomorrow, He will give you tomorrow. He will give you tomorrow. And finally, there's God's partnership. I'm spoiling you with these short sermons. Come this spring with that series, you're going to say, when is he going to be quiet? God's partnership, His reason to give. If God is all of that, and He is, if He has it all and He is the source of it all, then why does He even give to us? Very simply, God gives to us so that we can give back to Him and that we can give to others, because He wants us to be like Him, and He is a giving God. You see, part of the problem with sin is that it causes us to want to seek to be independent of God and self-sufficient and autonomous from God and from each other. And so part of God's solution to this problem is that He has given me blessings and abilities and resources that you don't have. And He's given you resources and blessings and abilities that I don't have. So that, therefore, we need each other. We each have something of value to offer to each other. And if we're going to make it in this thing called life, we have to make it together. God is the initial giver, but in order for us to become that all God has created us to be, we must give back to Him and to each other. This idea of partnership is kind of shown to us in Matthew 25. It's kind of lengthy, but I want to read it to you. It's in reference to judgment, but I think it speaks well to today. In Matthew 25, beginning with verse 31, when the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory, and before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divides his sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. Then shall the king say to them on his right hand, Come, you blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you fed me, and I was thirsty, and you provided drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. I was naked, and you clothed me. Well, I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me. Then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you a drink? When did we see you as a stranger and welcome you, or naked and clothe you? Or when did we see you sick or in prison and come to you? And the king shall answer and say to them, Truly I say to you, inasmuch as you have done it unto one of the least of these my brothers, you have done it unto me. Then shall he say also to them on the left hand, Depart from me, you cursed, into everlasting fire prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungry, and you did not feed me. I was thirsty, you gave me nothing to drink. I was a stranger, and you turned me away. I was naked, and you did not clothe me. I was sick and in prison, and you did not visit me. Then shall they answer him, saying, Lord, did we see you hungry or thirsty, or a stranger or naked or sick or in prison, and did not minister to you? Then shall he answer them, saying, Truly I say to you, as much as you did not do it unto the least of these, you did not do it to me. And these shall go away into everlasting punishment, but the righteous into life eternal. We're accountable to God for what we do with the blessings that he's bestowed upon us. When we give to others in need, then we in turn are giving to God. As I shared with you last Sunday, do not withhold good from whom it is due when it is in the power of your hand to do it. When we refuse to give to others, we are in fact refusing to give to God. And I want to really drive this home. We are incomplete without each other. The biggest failing and sin of the North American church is our Lone Ranger Christianity, thinking I can serve Jesus on my own. We need each other. We need each other. And God has ordained that we be givers with the blessings he has bestowed upon us.